Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with another video, and this time we're going to be doing a top 5 hardest bosses in my opinion video. Now, what bosses are we talking about specifically? We are talking about fighting game bosses, as there are very difficult fighting game bosses out there that pretty much will end up on anyone's hardest fighting game bosses list on pretty much anything you would find on YouTube. And this is just in my opinion. If you have a problem with my list, then I really don't give a shit, considering that this is my opinion and this isn't yours. Again, feel free to disagree, but don't try to force anyone that this boss is the hardest fighting game boss ever, okay? Alright, that's simple? Okay. Let's get on with the list then. Number 5, Shao Kahn. Now, which version of Shao Kahn we're talking about? I think the reasonable version of Shao Kahn that is pretty difficult to fight is MK3 Shao Kahn. He spams a lot of. He just keeps dashing against you. He keeps bashing you, and it not only prevents you from guarding. It also, if you try to attack him from the air, he will bash you up in the air. He will probably throw spears. I think he utilizes his hammer in battle as well, but I'm not sure about that. And he'll just randomly Spartan kick you whenever he feels like it. Not only that, every single time he keeps hitting you, he will occasionally taunt you and laugh like your usual villain. And this pretty much will just anger the player, and yeah, Shao Kahn's really that much of a bitch. Bison from Alpha 3. Bison in Alpha 3 is pretty frustrating. He has a screen clearing move, and if you do not block it, you will gain tons of damage from it. And not only that, he keeps teleporting. He keeps, stepping on you, and then backflipping, and then backflips off of you to do another move, and it's really annoying to keep up with him. Not only that, he has many projectiles that kind of they just occupy the screen, and it's kind of hard to get close to him and all that. Reminder SF2 Bison's not that difficult, unlike this version of Bison, but this is the version of Bison that pretty much gives me a hard time whenever I play Alpha 3 on an emulator. Onslaught in Marvel vs. Capcom 1. Onslaught is pretty hard to punish. You can flinch him, but here's the cake. Here's the part. You need to hit him enough times in order to flinch him. Otherwise, he can just keep attacking you with armor on, and not only that, he can trap you with these dark spear. He can trap you in these dark green spheres that he creates, and then they just trap you in mid-air, and you're stuck there until he hits you or until you move out. He can also bash you, shoot a beam at you, and throw ice meteors at you, create a tempest. And good luck getting past his second form, because his second form deals a lot of damage. Not only that, he can summon sentinels. I forgot to mention that. He can summon sentinels to drop bombs and whatnot. Again, in his second form, he can just punch you straight in the face, and it's very hard to damage him because his face is so high. You need to do a high jump in order to get there, and that just proves how frustrating this fight is. Gil from Street Fighter 3. I think a lot of people might have seen this one coming, especially with the fact that Gil was probably one of the hardest Street Fighter bosses out there, next to Street Fighter 1 Sagat and Street Fighter 4 Seth on very hard difficulty. But Gil has a lot of tools that will make you probably pull out a few hairs. First of all, his Armageddon technique. He just rains down meteors that take a lot of chip damage. His second technique, his resurrection, which is probably the most common he has in his tool set. allows him to resurrect, and not only that, he can refill his whole health bar with enough meter. And that pretty much sucks. However, you can interrupt it, but it's just very hard to hit him when he's doing resurrection, his third attack, or tool, or whichever term you use, the Seraphic Wing. It's pretty much unblockable. It's a screen clearing move, and yeah, that's how bad Gil is. And not only that, in terms of personality and voice, he just mocks you. Not only that, I think his quote, I forgot the rest of the quote. It has something to do with the mark of my DNA shall scar thy dignity. I believe that's the quote. Yeah, it kind of mocks you a little bit. Anyways, the majority of SNK bosses, you cannot bullshit me, and you cannot prove me wrong that SNK bosses are pretty much the epitome of the hardest fighting game bosses in general. First of all, you have Rugal from King of Fighters 94, Geese Howard from the first Fatal Fury, Omega Rugal from the King of Fighters 95, Goenitz from King of Fighters 96, Crizzlet in King of Fighters 99, Ignis in 2001, Mukai in 2003, Magaki in 11, Dark Ash, Evil Ash in 13, Amakusa in the first Sam show, Mizuki in the second Sam show, Zakro, Minazuki in Sam show 3, and I think Gao from Sam show 5 are all proofs that SNK bosses are probably the worst in terms of difficulty. I'm aware that there are harder bosses like Goodman from Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, Mr. Karate, many other bosses, but I think the perfect examples of what a SNK boss really is, Rugal, Geese, and Mr. Karate. If not, we could just mention SVC Chaos and mention Shinakuma and Sirius Mr. Karate, or Honki Nikata Mr. Karate, whichever term you use, and you got Red Reamer and Athena, which those bosses are gonna make you break your controller. Just trust me on that. And that is it for my list. Now, this list is relatively short, but there's a good reason why. I mean, I've only played fighting games that have been played on emulators and whatnot. I played a couple that interest me. I have not played a Soul Calibur game, and I have not played a Tekken game. I've never played a Killer Instinct game. I know, shocker. I know I could have mentioned another boss. I don't know, what else could I mention? I could have mentioned Taboo from Smash, but Smash is debatable. Anyways, I hope you all enjoy this list, and I'll see you guys later on in the next video. Peace out.